And it was good. After we met for a little bit, they're like, okay, it was easy after that. But at the beginning, it's kind of weird because there's a lot of things going on. So you guys have either to think of this as like conceptually as comparing triangles, similar triangles. Okay, so using your different colors. Let's say you guys first color, or not color, but let's go ahead and highlight the small triangle in one color. Then you guys have your, what I'm going to describe as your medium triangle. I'll give you guys a moment to color code that for me. So hopefully you guys see 3 different triangles. And the fact that you guys have so many triangles going on could get confusing in terms of like, you know, what is it that they're referring to? And let me just make sure I have the same colors. Okay. Okay, so since there's so many things going on it's really 3 different ratios that I'm going to show you guys. And first, I'm going to describe it to you guys as though I'm explaining the concepts behind it. And oh yes, you guys can log off of Pear Deck at this point. And then after that, I'll show you guys just like the way I see it, the way it just makes it easier to do, just to help you guys memorize the 3 ratios. But essentially, this is nothing different from me giving you guys 2 triangles and having you guys match up the sides. Okay, so on the first one, we're gonna think about the pink triangle. When I refer to the pink triangle, that's gonna be my small triangle. This is my medium triangle. And then my biggest triangle is gonna be that green triangle. Okay, so I'm gonna compare, let's say the medium triangle, the blue triangle, to the pink triangle. Okay, so in doing so, I'm gonna abbreviate certain things so that it's easier. This we'll call H, and H is gonna be my altitude, okay? H is gonna be altitude. So altitude is like the height of something. So let's go ahead and this is just some vocab words. So if I was standing on top of a mountain and I dropped a rope down, this is gonna measure how high that mountain is if it goes straight up and down and forms a 90-degree angle. So essentially you guys have 3 right triangles. This is the altitude of the big triangle. And then this is your hypotenuse of your big triangle. Your big triangle, this altitude, it divides it into 2 pieces. So sometimes you guys will hear me say a piece of the hypotenuse, okay? And that piece is gonna be like this piece right here is A, and this is B. Okay, so when we're talking about comparison of the medium to the short triangle, let's say that I'm comparing the medium triangle to the short triangle, and I'm comparing the long leg. Okay, so the long leg of the blue triangle, if you guys watch my cursor, the medium leg to the short leg would be this to this, or A to H, A to H. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that out, A to H. Okay, the long leg to the short leg is equal to, let's make the same comparison, same ratio on the other side. What would you guys describe is the medium leg of the pink triangle, or of the smaller triangle? What's the medium leg? Or sorry, the long leg. Okay, CP or H, very good. So this to this is equal to, this is the medium, or I keep calling it the medium, but this is the long leg of the small triangle right here. And then what's the shortest leg? B, okay, so H to B. And then can you guys go ahead and say this is comparing medium triangle to small triangle? Okay, so this is a ratio of the sides, but the way that I remember this one, and you're gonna hear me referring to it as the rainbow one. Okay, so notice that if I were to go from left to right and draw an arrow like that, H is what we call the geometric mean. H goes, the other day we went through a few examples where I said if something is the geometric mean between 2 numbers, if X is the geometric mean between 2 numbers, you would put X and X here. And the geometric mean between 2 numbers, in this case, would be this piece and this piece. So I would say A to H is H to B is a comparison of the medium to small triangle, but a faster way to remember it is that this is going to be a geometric mean. H is going to be a geometric mean. So the moment I say it's a geometric mean, you guys are going to picture in your proportion that it's going to go here. And it's a geometric mean between the two pieces of the hypotenuse. Okay, so that's going to be one of the relationships. That's comparing the medium triangle to the small triangle. Can I have you guys scroll down, or I scroll down, to the picture that you guys see below here? Okay, and for this one, we're going to have two other ones that we're going to compare. And so go ahead and color code the same color that you guys see above, and I'll take a moment to do the same thing. Just the large triangle. The small triangle this time's over on the left. And then I have one that really stands out as like a color, which is yellow. So I keep calling it golden. But the golden values, the golden circles that I make are what I'm going to say the geometric mean values. So I'm going to circle A, I'm going to circle H, and I'm going to circle B. Okay, and those are going to represent the values that could be the geometric mean. We just talked about H being the geometric mean. So when I say, you guys, H is the geometric mean, you're going to automatically picture H and H go here. Okay, A is going to be the other geometric mean, and B. Some other things to note. You guys can see that all three of those golden values come from the right angle that you see above. This one, and this one. Okay, so the right angle of the large triangle. And then when I make the comparison, this time I'm going to compare the large triangle to the small triangle. Oops. Okay, so can you guys type into the chat, what's the hypotenuse of the large triangle? What's the hypotenuse of the large triangle? What's the hypotenuse of the large triangle? Using just the single letters that you guys see there. Oh, and the larger triangle, you guys, is this green triangle, right? What's the hypotenuse of the larger triangle? Okay, the hypotenuse is C. C is going to be an important value. Okay, so let's say I'm looking at C. It's the hypotenuse of the large triangle. I'm going to find the hypotenuse now of the small triangle. Okay, look at my pink triangle. What's the hypotenuse of my pink triangle? Okay, so C to A is equivalent to, okay, now I want you guys to find the short leg of short leg of your large triangle. So since we started with large triangle here, what's the short leg of your big triangle? Short leg is A, right? Short leg is A of the large triangle. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to compare that to the short leg of your small triangle. What's the short leg of your small triangle? Okay, and it won't be this difficult to set up next time. Okay, so from here on out, what you guys are going to picture is if A is your geometric mean, then it's going to be the geometric mean means that you're going to put A in these spots. And it's going to be the geometric mean between the whole hypotenuse and the piece of the hypotenuse that's closest to A. So C being the whole hypotenuse, X being the piece of the hypotenuse that's closest to A. So C to A to X, okay? And then these are right by each other. Okay, so that's gonna be very similar to the next one. If we do the next one, it's gonna be, this is gonna be a comparison of large to medium this time. Okay, so let's start off with, let's say, what's the hypotenuse of What's the hypotenuse of the large triangle? What's the hypotenuse of the large triangle? Okay, it's C. Okay, what's the hypotenuse of the medium triangle, which is the blue triangle? What's the hypotenuse of the blue triangle? B, good. Okay, B is shared, right? B also happens to be the long leg of the large triangle. So look at the large triangle. This is the long leg of it. Okay, so I'm gonna put B here. What's the long leg of your medium triangle? What's your long leg of your medium triangle? Okay, this is the short leg, right? This is the medium leg, okay, Y. Very good. And then they follow the same pattern, you guys. So notice that the 3 values that I circled, golden values, are the values that will be repeated in this spot, okay? When you're looking at this ratio, it's the whole hypotenuse again, which is C, and then the piece of the hypotenuse that's closest to that geometric mean. So B and Y are together, okay? Whereas on this side, it was A and X together. Okay, and so from here on out, it's just a matter of practicing setting things up. So when I'm looking at, let's say, question 2, okay, if you guys look at question 2, it just says find the missing length. So I'm gonna do that one because it has a nice image for us there. Okay, so first of all, let's figure out some information that we could deduce from the diagram. If the whole hypotenuse of the big triangle is 12, can you guys type into the chat, what is X equal to? What's X equal to? If the whole hypotenuse is 12, what's X equal to? Okay, and by the way, just vocab wise, that's the whole thing. This is the piece, this is the piece, this is the altitude. Okay, so let's start with the altitude one. That's the first one that I had. And by the way, I'm gonna use the same color just so it makes sense to you guys. The 3 things that could be the geometric mean is A, H, and B. It's the 3 values that stem from that 90-degree angle right here. Okay, so let's start off with the H one. The H one is going to be the value that you guys have. H can be the geometric mean between 2 numbers, okay? And if you look at it, H is like a rainbow, okay? So H is the one that cuts across. Can you guys type into the chat using the information above, the first ratio that you guys have there? What is H the geometric mean between what 2 numbers? Okay, good, Brooke. And I think of it as just, it's a geometric mean between, it's always like these pieces over here. The geometric mean between this piece here and this piece here. So the pieces of the hypotenuse, the 4 and the 8, a rainbow going across like that. So 4, H, 8. Okay, so 4 and 8. So go ahead and put 4 and 8 here. So when we multiply, we get H squared equals 4 times 8. Okay, solve the proportion. We take the square root of both sides. Notice that when you take the square root of both sides, you guys have square root of H squared is just H. And then you have 8 is 4 and 2. So if you cross and you circle one of the 4s, you get 4 radical 2 is your H, or your altitude. Okay, so it allows us to solve for those missing sides. Okay, so now use another one of your geometric mean values. So H was one of them. A is the other one. Okay, so let's say we try the A one. A is going to go in these spots here. Okay, and so it's going to be the values that are the whole hypotenuse and the piece of the hypotenuse closest to A. What do you guys think those values might be? It's the whole hypotenuse and then the pieces of the hypotenuse closest to A. Okay, good. So the next 2 ones, so it would be 12, so the whole hypotenuse, and the piece of the hypotenuse closest to A. So 4. 12 and 4. Okay, so then let's go ahead and solve. If you guys multiply a squared equals 4 times 12, take the square root at that point. 12 has another 4 and a 3. So if you guys cross and circle, you get a equals 4 radical 3. Okay, let's try now to set up B. And it just really, it's like, it's crazy at first and then it gets easier once we figure out the patterns. Okay, so B is your other geometric mean. So I'm gonna put B and B here. Okay, so this time it's this leg. So we want the whole hypotenuse and the piece of the hypotenuse that's closest to B. So what are your two numbers for this proportion? Good, Joanne. Very nice, you guys. So the whole hypotenuse is 12, and the piece of the hypotenuse closest to it, very good, is 8. So 12 and 8. Okay, so cross multiply, we get B squared. And then 8 times 12. Okay, when I take the square root of both sides, I get 8 is 4 times 2, and then 12 is 4 times 3. So notice that you have a pair of 4s, so one of the 4s can leave. The other one stays in, the other numbers stay inside. So we get 4 radical 6 is the correct answer. Okay, so we're gonna do a few, can I have you guys go ahead, there's no numbers here. Go ahead and label these 1, 2, 3, 4 on the next page. 5, 6, 7, 8, and I'm gonna read your cues on this and see how you guys do. I definitely wanna do enough so that you guys feel comfortable. Don't label the picture, I'll label the picture so that you guys can just look at the screen and then tell me which one you're gonna use as a geometric mean. Okay, so by the way, when you're looking at this picture, I would first look at the picture, find my 90 degree on my big triangle, and the 3 segments that come from that are gonna be your possible geometric mean. So CA is a possible geometric mean. So actually, in fact, I'll color them in yellow so that you guys can see. But this is a possible geometric mean. This is a possible one, and this is a possible one. So it's always the 3 segments coming from the larger 90 degree angle or the larger triangle's right angle. Okay, so in your diagram, if you guys can just follow what I label, CN is 8, NB is 16, number 1. Find AN, which I'm gonna call X. What's your geometric mean in this one? Can you guys type it into the chat? What's the geometric mean in this one? Okay, so for this particular problem, we're gonna use CN or 8. So what we'll do is we set up our proportion with 8 in the spots where it's repeated. Okay, 8 is a geometric mean between what 2 numbers? What are the 2 values that I'm gonna put in the other spots for the proportion? Okay, good, X and 16. Okay, so this time we don't have a proportion, or sorry, this time we don't have a quadratic, we just have linear, right? 16x equals 64. Therefore, x is equal to, what's x equal to? Okay, good, 4. Okay, x is equal to 4. Let's try number 3 now and see how you guys do with that. So I meant to keep so I always have that in my mind. These are the 3 values that could be my geometric mean. Okay, number 3. On number 3, you guys are given AN is 5. And again, you guys can watch my screen for the labeling. AB, the whole hypotenuse is 12. Find AC, which I'm going to call X. Okay, which one is going to be my geometric? Of the X, the 5, the 12, what do you guys think is going to be your geometric mean? Okay, good, Lucy. Good, Will. Okay, so you guys, it's the one that is yellow. Okay, so the yellow ones that I highlighted there, the three segments coming from your right angle on top right here, C. Okay, so X is your geometric mean. So for number, I just forgot which one. Okay, this is number 3. Okay, so X is your geometric mean. So you guys are gonna put X there. And then the other ones are gonna be the entire hypotenuse, which is 12, and the piece of the hypotenuse closest to X, which is 5, which is what I see you guys have in your text. Okay, so now go ahead and expand out. So X squared equals 12 times 5, sorry, 12 times 5. In order to simplify, I'm gonna take the square root of both sides. 12 is 4 times 3, or 2, 2, 3, and 5. So I see one of the 2's can leave. The other one dies. 3 and 5 stays in. So my answer is X equals 2 rad 15. Okay, let's try. And then reading the question again, it does say just what is AC. So I have the correct answer there. So now I'm going to try number 4 with you guys. Okay, CB is 20. NB is 16. Find AB. Can you guys type into the chat, what's your geometric mean for this problem? Okay, very good. CB or 20. Okay, so 20 is your geometric mean because it's one of the golden ones that I highlighted there. Okay, so 20 is going to go in these spots. What is it the geometric mean between? What two numbers? What two values? And by the way, since I'm trying to find what AB is X. Okay, good. 16 and X. Very good. X is the whole hypotenuse and 16 is the piece of the hypotenuse closest to 20. And remember, you guys don't have to, it doesn't matter if you put X on top or 16 on top, it just has to be those two numbers, 16 and X. So 16X equals 400. What do you guys get for X? Okay, very good. X is 25. And I think some of the ones that were strange are on the other side. So let me try to do, I think it was 8. That was difficult, and maybe 7. So we'll see if you guys, how you guys do with this one first. Okay, let me erase mine. Okay, so for 7, oh sorry, 8, AC is 6. You've got AN is 4, and then find NB, X. Okay, this one's harder. You guys, which one is your geometric mean? What is your geometric mean here? Okay, good. So once I find my geometric mean, I'm going to write out my proportion, put the 6 and the 6 here. Good. Okay, so remember, it's the geometric mean between, if it's one of the legs, it's going to be the geometric mean between the whole hypotenuse and the piece of the hypotenuse closest. So what expression would represent the whole hypotenuse? Good, you guys. At the beginning, I used to see a lot of 4x, like 4 times x, but very good. You guys realize that it's adding, right? So 4 plus x, and then the piece of the hypotenuse that's closest to 6. So what would go in the last spot? Good. 4, perfect. Now cross multiply that. You guys have 4 times 4 plus x equals 36. Make sure to distribute. So 16 plus 4x equals 36. Keep solving and type into the chat what you guys get. think some of you guys might have made a small math mistake, but subtract 16 on both sides, you get 20. So x is 5 on that. I know this